This video is going to cover Objective 1.2 practice tasks. You're going to need to open up your Access Expert 1.2 and then you're going to hit Enable Content. After you hit Enable Content, it asks you to open the Categories table in Design View. So you're just going to right click on Categories, open it in Design View, and set the Category ID field as the table's primary key. So the Category ID is already selected, you're just going to click on Primary Key. Then it asks you to save your changes and close the table. You can either hit Control S or hit Save and close the table out. And then it asks you to open the Suppliers table in Design View. So you're going to right click on Suppliers, go into Design View, and then set the Supplier ID field as the primary key. So you're going to click on Primary Key, and then it asks you to save your changes and close out of that table. From there, you're going to open up the Products table in Design View and do the same thing with the Product ID. And then save and close. From there, it asks us to add two foreign keys to the products table, category ID and supplier ID. So let's open the products table back up. So we're just going to be adding those then in as field names. So we're going to type in category ID, hit the down arrow, and we're going to choose supplier and then type in supplier ID. And those are both going to be a number data type. So we're going to click right after short text, change it to number, and then we're going to change supplier ID also to number. From there, we're going to save our table and then we're going to close it out. Then we're going to open up the relationships window and do the following. So we're going to go to Database Tools and click on Relationships. And we are going to add the categories and products table in the window. So we're going to click on Add Tables, and we are going to double click Products, double click Categories, and then we're creating a relationship between the category table and the products table based on the category ID field. So you're going to scroll down towards the bottom of Products, click on Category ID, and you're going to drag and drop it on top of category ID in the categories table. So you should have the link here showing both category ID. Then we're going to edit the relationship between the category table and the products table to enforce referential integrity. So we're just going to check that first box, and again, make sure you're reading through all of this in the chapter. And then we're going to use the Add Tables command to add the Suppliers table to the relationship window. So we're going to hit Create here, Add Table, and we are going to add the Suppliers table. So we're just going to double click. I'm going to close out of the Add Tables dialog box over there. And then we're creating a relationship between the Suppliers table and the Products table using the Supplier ID field. So we're going to scroll down to the Products all the way to the bottom, click on Supplier ID, and again drop it on top of supplier ID in the suppliers table. Again, those are the two fields that should appear, and we are going to edit the relationship to enforce referential integrity. Hit Create, and you're going to need to save the relationship and close out of 1-2, and this completes Objective 1.2 practice tasks.